Why are tattoos so expensive? Let's talk about it. See, if you are someone who's not experienced in getting tattoos and you search for a tattoo artist online, or maybe you find a tattoo shop and then you walk into the tattoo shop and you inquire about tattoos. Maybe you want to get something small, like maybe a heart shape or a text which could be your child's name or a parent's name or even a date of birth. And then they give you a price which is something far off from what you expected. Most people get surprised when they get into a shop and they find out that the prices are a bit high, especially people who have never had a tattoo before. So I'm going to explain to you why. But before I explain to you, I want you to think about something. When you go to a shop and buy a shoe, you are obviously looking to get a shoe that is not only nice, but is of high quality so that it can last you as long as you possibly can. But now we all know when you buy a shoe that is of high quality, what tends to happen to the price is that it's higher. And when you buy a shoe that is cheaper, what tends to happen is that, yes, it may be appealing to the eye, but if it's going to be something that you wear every day or even 3 times a week, it might not last you a year. But the more expensive shoe will last you a year or even longer, depending on how well you take care of the shoe, right? The same can apply when it comes to getting a tattoo. So if you are going to compromise on the price, you have to be able to accept the fact that you might compromise on the quality of the tattoo. And by the quality of the tattoo, I don't mean the tattoo that you see after getting the tattoo, because a lot of the times after getting a tattoo, it may look good. But is that tattoo going to look good in a year? And is it going to look good in 5 years? But most importantly, is that tattoo going to look good and hold well after another 10 years? So 15 years later, is the tattoo still good looking? That's an important thing to think about when you get a tattoo. And when you look at the price, that's another thing that you just have to process in your mind. But also, you have to be sure that that tattoo is beautiful. It's a nice tattoo. This is going on your skin and it's permanent. So on top of the quality, you want to make sure that it is a beautiful tattoo, right? So that's the first thing that you have to think about when you are going to get yourself a tattoo, that this is why it might be a bit expensive, because you have an experienced tattoo artist who is doing the tattoo for you, and it will hold up very well after years because it's high quality. The second thing is that doing a tattoo as a tattoo artist is actually a bit expensive. The reason for that is because every needle tip for the tattoo machine, every ink cup for the tattoo, and even the ink that's going to be used is all new and it's specific for you. And after it being used on you, it has to be disposed of. So the same needle cannot be cleaned up for the next client, and you cannot go into a shop and find a needle that was used on a client before you and they clean it up, then they do the tattoo with that same needle. And that means that it's a bit expensive for the tattoo artist because everything has to be new and everything has to be disposed of after doing the tattoo. All right. Now, this is two of many reasons tattoos can be expensive. It also depends on the location in which your tattoo shop is. Obviously, if it's in a place where their rent is much higher, then obviously the tattoo shop will charge higher prices so that they can be able to pay their bills and also make profit. Now, if you are adamant on saying, you know what, I want a tattoo, but I don't want it to be very expensive, I want it to be cheap, instead of like affordable, makes sense. But when you are looking for a cheap tattoo, these are the potential risks that you are going to get into. So I'm going to share them with you. And ones that I've noticed the most, I remember one time before I started doing tattoos myself, I got into a tattoo shop and I asked for a tattoo price. They gave me a very affordable price. I mean, it was very cheap. I'm like, okay, this tattoo is very cheap, I'm gonna go for it. Do the tattoo for me. This is what I want. I wanted a text tattoo. And then the dude was like, okay, I'm gonna do it for $100. And I sat down, waited for him to finish with the client that he was busy with. And then after that, I sat on his chair. He was stenciling me the tattoo. After stenciling me the tattoo, to my surprise, he takes the very same machine that he was using to this client It doesn't change the needle, it doesn't change the needle tip, and the ink cup still had a bit of ink inside of it, and he wanted to start doing the tattoo on me without even changing the glove that he was using on the previous client. Immediately when I saw that, because my mom is a nurse and I have a background of knowing what are the risks when it comes to mixing my blood with somebody else's blood and having an open wound around a place that is not sanitary. So right there and there I stood up, I said, nope, I'm definitely not doing this. So I think about it now that these tattoo artists, they do this so that they can cut costs, and when they cut costs they are able to do tattoos for cheap. That's the first thing. So you are risking your life here. You are risking your health. You might get some diseases that you don't want. It could be HIV, it could be hepatitis B, anything that you can get from mixing your blood with somebody else's blood. The second thing that I would notice, and I notice it now more that I'm a tattoo artist, is that people will go to a cheap tattoo shop, get their tattoo done, and once they are done with their tattoo, they will come back after 6 months to a year saying, I got a tattoo at this tattoo shop, can you help me fix it? It's ugly, I don't like it. Can you help me fix the tattoo, or can you remove the tattoo? The problem with these tattoo shops is that they're trying to work with as many customers as possible to make as much money as they possibly can. So they don't really care about quality. They care more about the money, less than the quality and the art of doing the tattoo itself. And the experience, sometimes you'll find that it's not so ideal. And there are few people who are happy at these tattoo shops, but 9 times out of 10 I find that people are not happy with these tattoo shops because the quality sucks, the sanitation, the hygiene of the shop is not even up to standard. So these are the challenges that they go into when they go into a cheaper tattoo shop or they work with a cheaper tattoo artist. Some tattoo artists, I've seen this in my own studio. I was working with this young tattoo artist and he was looking for a space to work, and I was like, okay, let's work together. He did a tattoo for a client. I set up the machine for him. He did a tattoo for a client, and then he had his own ink bottle. After he was done with the client, he takes the ink cup that is mixed with blood from the client that he just worked with. He pours it back into the ink bottle, meaning that every other client that will come after that will be getting that client's blood into their body as well. Needless to say that I don't work with the guy anymore, but I've seen this with my own eyes multiple times. So if you're getting a cheap tattoo, think about those kind of things. And if you really want a good tattoo that will last long, that will look good after a long period of time, don't compromise on the price. Save much longer than you possibly wanted to, and get the tattoo at a later stage when you can afford it. And that's about it for this video. Like it.